You know, our world used to be full of real problems. Nowadays, these kids, they don't have real problems. The biggest problems we seem to face is to do with the internet. Because, oh dear, our Xbox isn't quick enough. Oh dear, our PC's not good enough. All we care about is random dopamine and motivation to live our lives. We expect money to fall from the sky. The UK is a slowly failing economy. And I don't even mean politically. I mean genuinely from a societal perspective. We as people are slowly on a huge downtrend. We're on a downtrend that's been going down and down and down and down and down. And it will continue to until it reaches zero. But that's not where it stops. You see, zero is just that first world bracket country into a second world country and a third world country. This place is getting bad. When I was 15 years old, I went to my first and only ever party where there was no supervision. There was no crap. This is straight out of a movie. It was January 2023. I went to my first ever party. And at this party, it was such a weird place. It was almost like the entire street was completely dead. I didn't see a single soul. I didn't even see a single car. It was crazy. We stayed in the house's garage for a bit. And there was a lot of bad things in the garage. I myself stayed sober. I stayed away from all the crap. Because it doesn't resonate with me, right? I personally, for one, hate drinks, hate any other sort of stuff, if you know what I mean. Hate the illegal things, hate vapes and all of this other crap. I hate it all, so I stayed away from it. I stayed completely away from it. I stayed as far away as possible. I was in the corner of the garage, trying to stay away from everything. When I say everything, don't take that like half-heartedly, I think. Take that fully, like 100% I stayed away from as much as I could. Without a shadow of a doubt. But around 8 o'clock, we walked into the house. And we walked in through the back, through the alleyway. Imagine you see outside your window 10 to 15 teenagers, I don't remember how many, walking into a house. And then they had to deal with that because they couldn't do anything, right? The police would just come knock and say, be quiet, if it was a noise complaint. So they didn't. They had no control, they had no power to do so. And therefore, we went into the house unscathed, no problems. And I don't remember the rest of the night. Not because I was drunk, but because it was so boring for me. Everyone else, I'm sure, remembers it because they were drunk, they were high, they were on some sort of random thing. They were up here, whilst I was down here, in the midst of the dark, nowhere to go. Everyone else had their entertainment sorted. I was alone. I was bored and I had nowhere to go. I had nothing to do. So the night progresses, they continue to do their dumb things, they go outside to hit more of the stuff and come back in completely out of their heads. They walk around, lay in bed for hours and hours, not sleeping, just laying in bed and watching some crappy horror movies. I never returned to such parties ever. And the whole story in this scenario isn't actually about me, it's about the people who were there. Brother, we were 14 to 16. Do you understand? The legal age of drinking is 18. And of course, teenagers be teenagers. They find a way, they mess about. But at the age of 14, we were doing some dumb things in the UK. I'm sure in Australia, it might be worse. In America, it might be worse because the drinking age is 21. But the issue with Britain is we've completely lost the plot. My friend, or somebody I knew, right, and he was my friend at the time, ended up having some sort of course, if I'm allowed to say that. I don't know, I'll blur it just in case. At 12. 12 years old, my friend. Do you understand? The legal age is like 16 in this country. And he had it at 12. And that same person, one night, we were staying at my friend's farm, ended up in town, found a milk bottle from like the local milkman, and threw it at the church, saying, F Jesus. If you know what I'm saying. You see, the issue I'm actually trying to highlight isn't about the young people. It's actually about the parents who raise these kids so lazily. And it's actually about the kids themselves as well, for not wondering if there's more to life. But also, what I want to say above all is there's no more God in this Christian country. You see, many, many, many years ago, decades ago at this point, this country we call the United Kingdom was a strong Christian country, was a powerful Christian country. But now we seem to have lost all respect for God, and therefore this society is falling. It's not coincidental. All of these things that these young people get up to, all seems to be sin. All seems to be negative and evil. And evil runs in this country. I'm only talking about stuff I've experienced. I'm not even talking about stuff I've heard from people I know being chased by people with katanas, people with long knives. And I'm not talking about a little UK, no, I'm talking about a katana. You know, one of these things. A flipping humongous knife. Came out his house and started whipping it at them. This country has lost the plot. Not just the young people, not just the older people and the adults, but everybody. Everybody has lost the plot. Everybody has begun to go crazy and everyone's begun to do dumb things. If you feel safe living in the UK, I don't know where you live, but nowhere near where I live, man. Because this country is no longer safe. This country is no longer powerful as it once was. It's dangerous. And it's severely more dangerous. I'd say it's as dangerous as one of the most dangerous countries in the world. Because if you walk in London with a nice watch, guess what? Someone else is taking it from you. If you walk in London with a nice car, guess what? Somebody will destroy it. Have you seen that video of the guy like in his Bugatti and some random guy on a motorbike comes over and starts bashing his window in? Why? Jealousy, envy, one of 7 deadly sins, one of the greatest deadly sins. This country is completely fallen. It's completely broken. And the only way we can fix it, for those of you Britons out there, is we need to reconnect ourselves with God. And this isn't any God propaganda, in the sense that I don't want to say that you should be a Christian, or you should be a Muslim, or you should be a Jew, or whatever it may be. That's up to you to find out if you care enough. But what I am saying is, honestly, this country needs to find God. Because guess what? God was once here. Whether you believe in him or not, the acknowledgement is strong enough. These experiences I was talking about before, with the parties and such, staying over my friend's house, this isn't even average for these kids in this country. Do you understand? The average kid does a lot worse. A lot worse. And this is also a grand problem. I know I've gone a little bit back and forth saying it's the parents, but it's the kids, but it's the parents, but it's the kids. But it's collectively both of them. And who has the most authority over the two? The parents, respectfully, are getting too lazy. You're not trying hard enough anymore. You're just letting them go on the iPad. It's good they go outside and such, but they go outside to do bad things when they get to a certain age. Because no one's ever said. And their friends do it once and then they just hop on to try and be cool. Trust me, I've been there. I didn't know what a vape was. And then my friend said, oh, I'm going to try the vape tonight. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll join you. And I tried the vape. And that's the only time I ever did. But he, on the other hand, succumbed to addiction. Now he's completely addicted. Still to this day. And do you understand that time I hit the vape was nearly 4 years ago. And he's still addicted to this day. This country has a deep-rooted problem. And truthfully, one by one we need to fix it. Because otherwise we're not going anywhere. In my local city there used to be postcode wars. There used to be a big amount of beef between that of one side and that of another side. To the point where they'd chase each other around, threatening each other. And it's not even London if you're wondering. No, it's nowhere near London. Yeah, it still happens. Gangs, violence, drugs, all this crap have overconsumed the United Kingdom. And now in my town, if I go for a walk late at night, on let's say a Friday evening, I smell ganj at some point. I was watching a vlog my friend made the other day, I'll link it below in the description. There was a point in that vlog where it says at the bottom, smelt ganj. Because he's just walking and he smelt it. You go on the streets, you'll see a drunk person. I saw someone so drunk that they couldn't even stand up. And that was just on a random walk on a Sunday night at 7 p.m. He was like this, all over the shop, on his phone, talking to his mum to come pick him up. This country is genuinely getting out of hand. And I'm not going to keep going any further because I could go for hours about all the negative things I've seen and heard. And I don't want to. Because I don't want to bring so much negativity to your day. I want you to know there is hope. And that hope is capital money. There is hope. You can leave this all behind if you have capital, if you have dollar bills, if you have pounds sterling. If you have it, you can just get a flight and go. Simple as that. It's probably the only way. Do you understand? Over 1,400 millionaires. No, I don't think so, 1,400. But like over 1,000 millionaires left the UK last year. That's second most in the entire world, followed by China. So I hope we can re-salvage this country one day. Obviously, with the power of God we can. But how long will it take? And will it ever happen? Because we have the availability to do so now. But all we have to do is actually crack down on our children and take a little bit more effort. At least try your hardest with your kids. Because kids are the most valuable, precious and fantastic, beautiful thing on the planet. We get to have family, my friends. We get to have family. And when you have family, you just take it for granted. Guess what? When they're 18, they're not coming back to see you every week. They're going to go off by themselves. When they're 25, you're going to see them at Christmas and that's all. Yet you're taking it for granted. You're taking it so much for granted that you don't end up seeing them half the weekend because they're chonged at some random park bench in your fucking local town. It's getting out of hand. And you just need to flipping man up or grow up and finally take some more responsibility. And if you're a kid watching this video, you're already on the right path, my friend. So just keep working hard, keep looking for capital, keep trying to find your way wherever you want to go. Because I'm telling you right now, your dreams are possible. And don't let anybody else ever destruct your dreams for you. Because otherwise, you'll end up just like Britain. Internal conflict will destroy you. So please do the hard work, even when you don't feel like it. Stay strong out there, and I'll see you tomorrow.